Alright, I wanted to take you guys through the assignments for this week. So the first thing that you guys have to do is UVing the, UVing the model that you did last week. So before you do this, I don't know why it's not letting me with this Google Doc. Before you do this, you do want to go through the feedback that I gave you. Just double check anything on the model that, should obviously get cleaned up or is broken. Go back and clean that up. Feel free to resubmit the Model 1, but basically, again, just sort of do that before you get to the UVing. Once you are UVing, the model should be finished. So if you're going to make tweaks for it, again, you want to do it before you do the UVs. The UVing also probably won't take a huge amount of time, and having your model cleaned up and ready to go will also make the UVing easier if you're not having to jump through a bunch of hoops to do things. And one thing that also makes UVing a lot easier is if you have not used booleans on stuff, because, one, you shouldn't be using booleans for these assignments, but also the booleans do things that make it harder to select edge loops and all that good stuff. So, anywho, the actual assignment is basically, again, fairly straightforward. It is just sort of do UVs on the object, clean up the object if you need to. I'll just add that in. Clean up the model if needed. And again, feel free to resubmit the model if you're cleaning stuff up. It's not counted as part of the grade for the UVs, so if you do want credit for that, you will need to resubmit these. And again, if you do a resubmit, make sure that you are submitting a changelog of anything you changed, as well as all of the parts of the assignment again, just so I don't need to dig for stuff and makes things very confusing. Alright, so yeah, basically clean up model, do UVs. The videos and the class demo should kind of go through that a little bit more of what that entails. But basically what you want to focus on is consistent texel density, which is basically if you're looking at a UV checker texture of your model, all the squares should be as square as possible and as uniform in size as possible. So smart stacking is basically what I would qualify as, if you have an area of repeatable texture that is not going to have any customization to it, no separate smudges, no separate anything else, it's just uniform, say cloth texture or something like that. You can overlap your UVs for that area. If you are going to do that, please do let me know in the comments of the submission, otherwise I might be like, why are your UVs overlapping? I'm taking off points for that. So mirroring is also similar. That would basically be, imagine for a face. Now this will look really weird with freckles, but just a freckleless face. What you can do is basically texture the left side of the face and then make the left and right UVs, the UVs for the left and right side of the face, mirror images and overlapping, so that way they're sharing the same texture and you're able to fit more into your UV texture, or your UV texture area. So that kind of goes hand in hand with smart stacking, and again, if you're going to do this, do let me know that you are doing this, otherwise I might take off points for it. And it really depends on the model itself. And I'm probably going to amend this 2 seconds after writing this, but I would actually recommend for this assignment not doing this. It's one of those things where when you're first UVing, I think it's best to just sort of keep everything as simple as possible, and then once you sort of learn what you need and how to texture, then you can go back and start playing with this. This might be something more to explore for the second assignment, which again, I'm probably going to mod 5 seconds after I finish doing this video. Alright, so apart from that, basically just using the UV space efficiently. So that's basically, if you have a little 1x1 grid, say, of this, imagine that this box is your UV editor. You don't want all of your UVs clustered in this bottom little corner, because that's all this pixel density that's not being used, right? So if you have say a 2K image in here, and you're crushing all of your UVs down into this little 200 pixel corner, that's 200 pixels that's being stretched across your entire model. Your stuff is going to look incredibly low res and really crappy. So it doesn't really matter how high resolution your texture is if all your UVs are jammed in a small corner. So basically, again, you should, lay them out as close to or as large as you can within the available area, as long as they're not overlapping and doing a bunch of other crazy stuff. The other thing that I'm going to be focusing on is, are your UV seams camouflaged as best as possible? So if you're doing a face, normally you don't want to cut straight down the center of the face. You try to, keep the cuts under the hairline, that kind of thing, towards the back of the head, anywhere that's not, super visible on your object. Now depending on what you're doing, you know, that's not always possible. You know, UV seams are necessary, but just try to make sure that they're not, you know, hardcore crazy obvious. So for example, if you're doing, you know, like I guess the postal scale, maybe try to squish the UVs like on the bottom of the scale where it's not, you know, you really never see that unless it's flipped upside down for some reason. You know, something like the wire cutters might be a good place to sort of stash the UVs would be on a corner, like the bottom corner of the handles. It really kind of depends on the overall render angle and just kind of shape itself. So this is a little bit like left to your discretion. Just again, try to not keep them like super huge in the middle of your model. But yeah, so worth 4 points overall. Basically, this is mostly what I'm looking for. I'm just gonna sort of, this is the main stuff. Alright, so, okay, so this is like I said, basically stretch goals. Probably don't use these for now, but I did want to go over just sort of what they were. But these three are the main things that I'm looking for this assignment. Alright, so for what to submit, please submit a screenshot of the checker overlay in Maya, and that's basically just going to be, let's see what I pulled open here. So basically just, you know, if this had an actual texture on it, all I would want is just like a little screenshot of this on the shaded view. So I'll just go through really quick, and this is pretty much all I want you guys to do for this. I'm just going to use this checker texture. I would like you guys, screw it, I'll just do it. I'm so close. I'm so close anyway. Give me 5 seconds. I gotta dig the texture up on my computer. Good lord. So I believe that this is the same checker texture that I gave you guys. There we go. Actually no, I think I gave you guys a slightly different one. So this is not a UV'd object, but this is really all I want is just sort of a screenshot of this. Make sure that shaded view is turned on, so if you can hit the 6 key on your keyboard, or you can hit this little button up here. So 5 will turn off any kind of map texturing you have in your object. But like I said, just turn on the 6 shaded view, and you should be pretty much good to go. Just take a screenshot of this, that's all I want for that. And then export a UV layout for the model. So all you really want to do for that is go in and select the whole model, or you know, if you're using multiple textures in this, you know, say like you're doing a separate texture for like the plastic area and then like the metal area, which is fine. All you would want to do is go into your UV editor. Like I said, have not laid out these UVs. Go to, I believe it is shoot, where is it? I forget where this is every single time I need to go and do this. I'll just make a separate video on this because like I said, for the life of me, perpetually, oh wait, nope. Yeah, I'll make a separate video for this, don't even worry about it. I forget where that is every single time. But basically, it's just Maya saving a version of your UVs in a little PNG or something like that. So you can use this to go into Photoshop later, which I'll show you guys for the texturing. And then just a Maya file with a UV'd model in it. So 3 things, 2 images and a Maya file. Please don't zip anything. Apart from that, that's pretty much it with this. Next week we will be going over how to use your UVs for texturing. So do make sure that, I'm just going to also add, don't overlap UVs. Yeah, so I think for this week, just don't overlap UVs and just call it a day. Like I said, next week is texturing. And after texturing, you're pretty much done with this model, and we're going to go over smooth modeling officially, and do basically the same assignment again. So modeling, week 2 will actually be texturing, and then there's some extra sort of stuff week 3 that's like a little bit different. But that's the basic layout for the UVing assignment. Hopefully that was a longer video than I intended, so sorry.